Alright, welcome to our Breath of the Wild Completionist Speedrun. My name is Scuttles, I will be your host today. And this run, we do everything. For a full description of what we do in the run, check out the video that I've uploaded prior to this, or you can check out the description below. It has lists out all the different things I'm trying to accomplish as I go through this run. But spoiler alert, we go through everything. We get all the main quests, side quests, shrines, Korok seeds, treasure chests, armor, whatever. So if you are still playing the game or still exploring and you don't want things spoiled for you, this is probably not the run for you to watch. Go ahead and do that first, then come back. But otherwise, I do not have a timer. That's because we've been fighting my computer. It's old and it's a Mac, which means Live Split doesn't play well with it. And so we're just trying to do the best we can. But I will provide commentary as much as possible throughout the run, so you can kind of hear about what I'm thinking and why I'm doing various things, because there'll be a lot of things where I do something and it won't pay off for 40 hours, but I need to do it anyway. So, with that, we're going to begin, and time begins when I select New Game. So time will begin in 3, 2, 1, start. And I do that because that's consistent with my previous runs. I know other runners do when you gain control of Link, because that syncs up different systems. Might change that in the future if I ever decide to submit this to like speedrun.com or make this more official than what I'm doing now. But in the meantime, this is how I'm doing it. So we're going to use ZeldaDungeons.net's interactive map to kind of keep track of all the different things we do in the game. And that's really, really helpful. It lets me click off when I've opened certain chests, when I've activated certain shrines. Basically, it's my note-taking, because this is a 50-hour run with a lot to do, and I do not have this memorized yet. I'm sorry. So Link has been asleep for 100 years, because he took a grievous injury from Ganon during his last fight when Ganon resurfaced. And now we have woken him up, and he has lost all of his memories as well as all of his clothes, and we're going to fix that for him. So first things first, we're going to pick up the Nintendo Switch. We're going to pick up the Shiekah slate.
That
Obvious
is a
product
Shiekah
tie-in.
slate. Take it.
Now, I know for any
It will help
percent,
guide you after
the
your
new
long
thing to
slumber.
do is there's a skip where you clip out of the corner of this room and start your quest from, or start your run from there. And we're not going to do that because the main purpose of that is to avoid activating the Great Plateau Tower, as well as to dodge some cutscenes. And we'll hit the cutscenes, but we need to activate the tower, 1, for the category of the run, and 2, because that activates all the shrines and we don't have to do this weird clipping glitch to get around the shrines. So in this run, we do have to open all the treasure chests, and so that includes those two. So we just take care of those right off the top of our, right off the bat. We're not going to put those clothes on because they're pretty useless, and I think the only reason they exist is for the more modest player that doesn't like the idea of following Link around in his boxers all run. Sorry, we're going to follow Link around in his boxers for a little while. Just how it is.
Link, you are the light. Our light. That must shine upon Hyrule once again.
So the disembodied voice of Zelda is going to bark
Now
commands
go.
at us, and we're going to ignore her. Coolio. Alright, first trick you might notice me doing is the whistle sprint. That is where I hold down the whistle button and mash the sprint button, and that lets me recover my stamina while maintaining my speed. Now I'm going to shut up for the best part of the run. absolutely gorgeous. And we are going to be going all over that area, every last inch. And we'll start right now. Cool. So I need healing items, so we're going to pick up a Hylian Shroom. It's convenient and close. We are going to go down the hill, and we are going to get this we're going to get this axe. This axe is going to help us do some tricks. And it's going to be our first weapon. In addition, we're going to pick up this high-tailed lizard, and I ran out of stamina because I'm bad at this game. So we're just going to be slow for a few seconds, and we're going to get our first Korok seed. Need a lot of high-tailed lizards during this run. Also careful about hitting B out of there because that determines... Oh, I should have picked up that fish. Usually that's not an option, but whatever. It's not imperative that I have a fish right off. Cutscene right now. We need a lot of high-tailed lizards. We need like 35 for all of our weapon upgrades, so I'll try to get them where I can.
Head for the point
We'll
marked on the map in your
Shiekah
Shiekah slate.
to get the remainder. We should be able to get a good 20-odd or so just by doing what we do. Cool. I need 3 ancient screws to upgrade the picture taker, whatever it's called, the room, so that it hunts for things for me later on. And we're going to try and do that before we get to Hetsu Village. In the meantime, here are some Hylian trousers. Again, I'm not going to put them on. They're less useless than the old pants, but not that much. And we're going to make a beeline for the Great Plateau Tower. And on the way, we're going to pick up some arrows. Because we need a bunch of arrows in this run. And then we're going to steal this guy's shield. And that is going to let us do some tricks later. Otherwise, we're going to outright it more. And we're going to activate Shiekah Tower. Or the Shiekah Tower. And so what's going to happen here is we're going to skip a cutscene where all 15 towers across Hyrule activate all at once. It's also going to activate all the shrines, so we can go from inert to accessible. Which is great, because we need a lot of shrines. That's that's the main reason we come and do this first. And activating a tower gives you a portion of the map. So this tower will give us the map for the Great Plateau. We'll get our first section. And then we're going to skip a cutscene here. Basically just shows Zelda being Zelda. Zelda's trapped in Hyrule or inside Ganon in Hyrule Castle. Like any Legend of Zelda game, we have to save her. We'll get there. Around hour 37, I think. So we're going to skip that cutscene. And then we are going to jump off this tower. We're going to do it right here.
Oh!
I did it again. I threw away the axe. Turns out, it doesn't matter. Why? Because I've made this mistake before and I was fine. So the Pro Controller's a little dodgy with the D-pad. The D-pad interacting with the control sticks. So you'll notice a couple times it'll look like it can't decide where it wants to be. And I just had to fight that. And that's what happened there. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to throw the axe, and then right before I actually throw it, unequip the shield and confuse the game physics. All of which I successfully did. And that tricks the game into thinking that you've only fallen from a couple feet, because it resets your fall speed instead of 100 feet, which is nice. But unfortunately, I botched it a little bit, and ended up throwing away my axe. Tragic. You can still hear it in the distance. We are not going to try and recover it, because we have to get all treasure chests, we actually pick up a soldier's claymore in the bomb shrine, and that, if we ever need it again, acts as it. So we're still hunting for ancient screws. We didn't get it. Good news is we can sell that for money. In the past, I would hunt for ancient shafts, but we're going to avoid that this time for the sake of saving time. We are going to head over here. And this is the Magnesis Shrine. So this is our first shrine. Only 119 to go. Which is pretty nice. And each of the shrines on the Great Plateau give you a rune. And the rune is an additional power that lets you manipulate the environment, which can be incredibly useful, both for fun and for speedrunning. So the first one is Magnesis, and as the name might suggest, it lets you manipulate magnetic objects. Anything really made out of metal, sometimes weapons, sometimes, in this case, metal doors and blocks and stuff. Let you do some cool things. So we're going to be using that we're going to use all the runes fairly often. But each shrine basically teaches you how to use each of... So we're going to avoid getting hit by him as best as we can. And we're going to do our first shield jump of the run. So shield jump is where you jump, and then you start to go into a shield surf, but you cancel at the last minute by de-equipping the shield. And that gives you some extra height and distance without damaging your shield, which is really cool. It's basically Link's double jump, and we're going to use it a fair amount in the run, especially in the Great Plateau. The Great Plateau is probably the most technical part of the run, because we don't have the paraglider, and for most of it we don't have all the runes. So our means of getting around the world are a bit limited, so we have to be a bit tricky. Now you notice I didn't cancel out of that cutscene until the text disappeared. That will save me a few seconds, because it means the little Zelda logo will actually start turning white immediately. For some reason, if you cancel it early, it doesn't take as long to, or it takes longer to load. So you actually lose time by canceling out early, which is counterintuitive, but trust me, we've done the tests. I'll probably screw it up a few times, and then you can see what it looks like there. So, Old Man Winter is teasing us with a paraglider. First he said we gotta get this treasure, so we did. And he's like, oh, you gotta get the other three too. And like, you reneged on the deal. And we're like, he's like, yeah, I did. Why? Because I have the paraglider and you don't. Which means I have all the leverage. And we're just like, okay, fine. So we need the paraglider to get off the Great Plateau. I want a baked apple. And I think I got it, yeah. And I also got the roasted bass, which is relatively useless to me, but whatever. So this quest, we do have to get all, for this one, we do have to get all the treasure chests. So I will be going out of my way to get all of the treasure chests. Even if it seems not ideal. So, tried to route it so that I get as many of the treasure chests as quickly as possible, but there's always room for improvement, isn't there? Plus we need those for rupees. We're going to pick up some Hyrule herbs because they recover some HP, and we tend to lose a lot. We recover hearts, sorry. What game am I playing anyway? Let's go get our second Korok seed of 900. And now we're going to get two of the most important chests in the run. 5 ice arrows. We need at least 3 We screw up 5. Last run, which I canceled, we used all 5 because I was having a bad day. Today's day is better. Cool. Now we have this long stretch that I need to route out. I haven't successfully accomplished that yet. I know you can do it with some stasis launches, but I'm bad at stasis launches. So, yeah, that hasn't happened yet. Sorry. In the meantime, we can talk about Koroks. Koroks are apparently like the children of the Great Deku Tree, and 900 of them are scattered across the world to hide from Hetsu, who we'll meet soon. Why? Because they're little jerks. That's pretty much it. I don't have much else to say about that. And when we find them, Hetsu gives us a giant piece of poop. Hooray! So we're heading over to the Bomb Shrine. Which is going to be fun, I promise. And here we are. So first, let's grab an amber. And then we are going to try and stay out of the way of these guardians. Not because they're particularly threatening. Yes, they will one-shot me if they hit me, but they're easy to dodge. Because there's a little cutscene that happens if I happen to come in their sights. So, if you stay on top of the wall, they generally won't bother you. And we get our first piece of DLC armor. Yes, we are doing all the DLC. We are doing the Champions Ballad. We are doing the Trial of the Sword. We're collecting all the DLC armor. So, that's part of the run. So welcome to the Bomb Shrine. We get 2 types of bombs. We get a square bomb and we get a circular bomb. Circular bombs whirl, square bombs don't. Now you understand bombs. The cool thing is that we're going to be moving through the shrine faster than the recharge that the bombs would allow, so we're going to alternate between the two to keep our bombs going without causing a reset. Or without slowing us down. I can speak English. I'm a good commentator. Like this. I have a square bomb. I'm trying really hard not to blow myself up, because just like those blocks, I am also very explodable. Cool. So we lost our axe, we gained a sword. We're fine. Oh, I didn't think to do that. Oh well. Not a big deal. I ran out of stamina. Who cares? I made the cycle. So, yes, we are collecting all the treasure chests, including all the ones in shrines. So, I had to make that cycle in order for that to happen. And by throwing a bomb at that little orange orb on the constellation, I put it in just the right place to blow up as many blocks as necessary to climb up that ladder. Which I think is kinda cool. So that was a clean shot. Again, we're waiting for the text to disappear. So, the good news is that the goddess Hylia will bless you a lot if you watch this run. I certainly feel blessed. Alright. One more Korok seed and then we move on. Alright, we're going to work back to Shrine of Resurrection. Then we're going to make our way over to the Cryonis Shrine. And this is probably the most technical part of the Great Plateau, because I have to do shield surfing, I have to do a shield jump, and then I have to whistle sprint up a mountain. All in a day's work. If I get there fast enough, my route up the mountain will be obvious. Which I should. I haven't had really any time delays. I said too soon. So yeah, if you run out of stamina, you slow down for a bit. It's really annoying. But whistle sprinting gives you a nice little thing, because it lets, if the slope is, if there's any sort of slope, you can whistle sprint up the slope. And it makes it a lot faster, and you can restore stamina in places that you probably shouldn't have been able to restore stamina. So we're going to shield surf. And we're going to fail at shield surfing, which is really going to screw us up. Just a bit. Okay. We recovered. That's right, the ancient shaft is cool. It's not what I want, but it's cool. It's what I will want eventually, and that is probably the hardest shield jump run in my professional opinion. I'm glad I made it. And we made it in time to see my route. Yay! Whistle sprinting again lets us recover stamina, which makes this actually possible. And that's where I want to be. Eat something. Screwed that up. Okay, we did it. Screwed that up slightly, but not a big deal. Might have to eat one of my mushrooms, that's fine. Yeah, I have to eat one of my mushrooms. If you do optimal movement, you don't have to eat anything. As you can see, that was not optimal movement, but it's still pretty good for me, so... Cool. Cryonis Shrine. Yay! So Cryonis lets you build pillars of ice on any water surface, except hot spring water. Fun facts. And that has a lot of uses. I'm going to demonstrate some of it here. So let's climb. Let's do things. Here she is. Didn't know if I had enough health to actually take one of his hits. But luckily he was nice to me. Cool. Pretty clean. And I now have my traverse. Alright, 3 out of the 4 shrines done. Now we're going to make our way over to Mount Hylia and actually get a shirt that's good enough for Link to wear. We're going to be getting the warm doublet, and that's going to protect him from the cold. Because you'll notice I've been taking damage from the cold. Now, the nice part about shrines is that they heal you up entirely when you complete them. Which is really sweet. I do need to find a more efficient way. whole lot I can do and still make it up the mountain, so we'll play with that. Every run I find something to improve upon, and I practice for a couple weeks or so, and then I try another run, and see how my improvements have worked. Yes, down to 1 heart already. Fine. Oh no, I screwed that up. Okay. Recoverable. Hi, old man. So the old man gives you the warm doublet if you make it up to the top of Mount Hylia without the warm doublet already. So we're going to equip that. We're also going to restore our health to full. So that way if I screw up, I'll have the 1 hit protection. And that will keep me alive. I'm also going to take a rather particular route down so that I don't kill myself. Shield surfing is amazing, you go really fast. Also, your shield doesn't take damage if you're surfing on snow or sand, which is great, until you hit that. You can recover. Cool. So this is the fun. This is where we're going to do one more fall, and this is the one I have trouble with, so we're going to see if I can. Yeah! Despite messing up, I saved it. We're amazing. We're awesome at this game. And by we, I mean Will and I, because Will helps a lot. Slow down so quickly we can save it. Alright, welcome to Stasis. Stasis gives you the ability to stop things in time. Has a lot of uses. We're going to do some really funky stuff with Stasis. And so, first thing we're going to do is let you stop things in rotation. Waiting in the cycles, so that's the first use, which is nice. Second use, which we'll see in a moment, is you can stop something and hit it, and it will save the net force of what you hit and allow you to move objects that you otherwise wouldn't be able to hit very easily. We're going to pick up this iron sledgehammer because it's probably going to be one of the most useful items in the early game. Switch to the spear, and I will demonstrate that. Whoa, that was weird. Okay, cool, we're back. You can shield jump past it. I have not had much success with that, so I don't really bother. Sorry. Cool, all 4 shrines done. This has been pretty clean so far. Let's hope it stays that way. And the old man comes. Here's the old man. And I'm like, hey, give me my paraglider. He's like, no. And I'm like, why? It's because you need to go to church. And I'm like, I don't go to church. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, why do I need to go to church? And he goes, because I'm a ghost. And then suddenly my faith is questioned. Or lack thereof. And that's how conversion happens. So we need to get to church fast. And we didn't get to church fast because I didn't grab it. Which also means I need to kill these guys. Just because they'll otherwise hit the rock. And I will get off track. Why won't you grab? So this will put me a bit behind, but that's fine. Alright, time to go to church. Come on. There we go. Alright, we did it. That's a stasis launch. I am not great at stasis launches. I'm getting progressively better. But I am not great at stasis launches. Okay, that costs us about 2 minutes, but that's fine. It is what it is. In a 50-hour run, 2 minutes doesn't make or break anything. So the old man wants us to meet us here. I'm sorry, the old ghost wants us to meet him here. And it turns out the old ghost is actually the king of Hyrule. Was the king of Hyrule. He died. And he gives you some exposition as to why he died, because you were there, but you don't remember any of it. And he tells you, avenge him by going east. And... Alright. Cool. About 2 minutes behind my personal best, but that's because I screwed up the stasis launch. Whatever. In a 50-hour run, I can take 2 minutes. Alright. Alright, first things first is we need to get the Korok seed. And it lives at the top of the spire. And he's also a little butt. Ooh. Wasn't quite how I wanted to dismount, but fine. Perfect. And we're going to pray to the goddess Hylia. We have 4 spirit orbs, and you can trade 4 spirit orbs at a time for either part of your stamina wheel or an extra heart. Because this is a speed run, we need stamina. So I don't plan on getting hit very often. So now we have extra stamina, which is good. And we got 2 more treasure chests to get before we move on to the next mission. And I am still hunting for ancient screws, so that's 2. And that's 3. Perfect. Love it. Not going to worry about looking for anything else. Overshot it just a bit. So one of the things about this run is that I do allow for as many pauses as necessary. Why? Because this is a 50-hour run and I have other things going on in my life. And so I think this is as good a spot as any to pause before I move on to the next segment. And so, once we reappear in the Shrine of Resurrection, we are going to pause, and that will... And with that, thanks for watching. I will see you next time on the next segment of the run.